Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and early, 9 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Before I get into this video is going to be about different races interacting with each other and just being yourself and liberal guilt. I think that's what it's called. All right, before I get into that, though, I wanted to kind of update you on things. Here in Connecticut, it's a beautiful day, 86 degrees today. Amazing, beautiful day. I'm a little slow these last 3 or 4 days. There's high pollen here in Connecticut, incredibly high pollen. I never had a problem with it up until I've been getting older. And my joints hurt. I'm lethargic the last couple of days, so I've been moving a little slow. If you see my videos have been a little later than usual, I'm having a hard time. I'm pushing myself through it. Today, President Joe Biden is visiting Connecticut. He's giving the commencement address at the U.S. Coast Guard Academy here in New London, Connecticut. He is landing. I was going to go to the beach today because it's a beautiful day, and he is landing about 2 miles at an airport, not even, maybe about 1.5 miles from the beach I go to, Misquamicut Beach in Rhode Island. He's landing at North Kingston Airport in Rhode Island today. So I think I'm going to put that on hold. I don't want to get caught in any presidential gridlock today. All right, I would have loved to report on that, but it's going to be packed, and there's no chance that I'd be able to get in there today. I'd like to have gone there and tried to record it or whatever, but I imagine the security is going to be very tight. Anyway, okay, what I want to talk about. Let's see, how could I explain this? Remember the TV show All in the Family? Meathead, the son-in-law, Archie Bunker's son-in-law. He was a liberal. And whenever he interacted with African-American people or people of different races, he was like it was like liberal guilt. He was like over the top nice, a guilt for all of the oppression. He felt guilty for, 400 years of African-Americans being oppressed, so he was extra nice. I've given this a lot of thought recently, and I'm going to tell you why. It all of a sudden, it occurred to me. This town it's a town of about 9,000 people, or about 7,000 people where I live. It's about 99.6% Caucasian, seriously. It's where I was born. The thing that occurred to me is I interact with a lot of the different races, even though there's not many people of different races here. And this isn't on purpose. It's kind of weird. All right, when I go walk at I go to walk at a dam. I've done this for years, for about 14 years. And every day I go walk there. And one of the people that work at this dam that open the gates every day is an African-American man. And I've got to know him good. We talk about the weather and every day, just kind of chat about different stuff. I don't know his name, but, we interact. And the mail person that took over my mother's route when she retired, the mail delivery carrier, another African-American man. And my mail carrier here, another African-American man. And there's a house being redone across the street. And there's African-American people working on that. And I'm going about my business yesterday. And I'm just interacting with different people. And all of a sudden it occurred to me that in this mostly Caucasian town, I pretty much had just exclusively talked to African-American people that day. It was kind of weird. It wasn't on purpose. It was just who I run into on daily. It was just totally just random. All right. But it went through my head because I get along good with these people. Like I said, the mail carrier took over for my mother. I know his name. And I know the mail carrier's name. And I get along good with these guys. I chat with them every day. This guy's doing the mail route that my mother used to do. So I understand what he's going through. We chat about different things. And it went through my head, though, after I realized this. Am I being myself? Because I get along good with these people. Not African-American people in general, but I get along good with the people that I run into every day, which happen to be African-American. And I just gave it some thought. Am I being myself? I think we've all done this. I started thinking back, and I was like, have I done this before? Have I talked to, have I come across like an African American person, or let's say an, like an Islamic person or Asian person, and have I acted differently? Being liberal, I would probably be a little over the top nice. I wondered about this. I really put it to myself. Have I ever done this? Have I ever had that liberal guilt? And I think I have. I think I have. More recently, I don't do that. And this is why. Using empathy again. I thought about this. I thought about, because it could be the reverse. Say with African American, if an African American person say the African American people working across the street here, and sometimes would they be nicer to the Caucasian people just because they're Caucasian, just to get along? And this is what I thought. I thought about this. In the past, when I've talked to African American people, has it ever been obvious to me that the person was being kind of extra nice and outgoing, probably just because I was Caucasian, if there was no other reason? And there's been times when I feel like people have been nice to me just because of the color of my skin. And it's obvious. And I thought about that. How do I feel when that happens? Am I angry? Am I disappointed? How do I feel? And I think I feel like they don't have to do that. I'd like to, if I could tell somebody, I tell them that you don't have to do that. Just be yourself. And, I thought about that. And reverse, when I talk to African American people, it would be obvious. It must be obvious. We're all human. So how I could spot people, not just, just people going out of their way to be nice to me just because of the color of my skin, and it doesn't make me feel, it doesn't make me feel good. So conversely, I try not to do that to other people. I think this is something that happens with everybody. I don't know. Sometimes you probably don't even realize you're doing it. I think a lot of it too could have to do with what you've seen on TV, how you've been impacted by the news recently. Sometimes there's horrible stuff going on TV, people being treated badly. Like for instance, the Karens in the park, and people yelling and using racial slurs and stuff. And if you just watch that and then you happen to run into somebody, I don't know if it's still in your mind or what, if you might act differently because of that. Just some thoughts I'm putting to you guys. Have you guys ever caught yourself kind of doing the liberal guilt thing? Acting differently to African American people or Asian or Islamic people just because of the color of their skin or because of their religion? You're being nice to them just because of that, because you kind of feel guilty, because you want them to know that you're not one of the bad ones. I gave this some thought, and I think the best thing to do is just to be yourself. I think, like, conversely, it's obvious to me when people aren't being themselves, and it makes me feel uncomfortable if somebody's just being nice to me because I'm Caucasian or whatever. So conversely, I just try to be myself with other people, and if somebody's acting like a jerk, if somebody, you say good morning, how's it going, and they're just rude right off the bat, well, let them know it. Don't kiss any butt just because the color of the skin or somebody's religion. Treat all people equally. Sometimes it's not easy. Just some thoughts I wanted to throw out there because I realized that I was interacting with a lot of different people in the last couple of days. All right, you guys have a good Wednesday.